right.
Hello, everyone. It's another crazy week. Oh my God, this weekend, I hope nobody placed any bets. Um,
NFL
to
was amazing this weekend.
to
Him Morgan
those
won.
to those that won, if you did place bets, kudos to you. To those that lost, that's why I don't bet on people at work. That's all I'm gonna say. But with that, we gonna go ahead and get started. All right, so let's start with that college football. All right. So what was your take on the weekend in sports?
Indiana Ole Miss was a great college football game. That was probably one of the best college football games of the season.
Wait. Who?
Not Indiana Ole Miss. Miami Ole Miss. Sorry, sorry.
Oh,
I got
okay.
Indiana on the brain because Indiana kind of beat themselves into my brain on Friday night. It just was.
Woo. And
Now,
okay.
now we were messaging during the game.
Uh, yeah.
The whole game with that. We were messaging with
Hmm.
the Indiana Oregon game. The one thing that I will say kind of shocked me coming out of it over the past couple of days
Okay.
after that fact was the fact that a lot of their team is coming back from Oregon. They're the only person that I know of that left during the portal. And okay, let's go back.
Okay.
I've mentioned this numerous times. The portal being in the middle of the college football playoff is like having NFL free agency right after the end of the season and going into the whole playoff race. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
And for me, I had not even realized the fact that they had I knew that when you're starting running back is out with a broken clavicle that he hurt during the previous game and he didn't know he had broken until afterwards. That's
Right.
one thing. But then when your jack of all trades running back that had been getting run had no reason to whatsoever because he was doing special teams, he was the third down back and everything else that would have moved up into the slot enters the portal right after the bowl game on New Year's Day.
Mm.
And people have to understand something. When you enter your name into the portal, your contact with that team stops right then and there. You can't go to practice. You can't sit or can't you turn in your playbooks and you are done. So part of me is pissed because did he blindside you with this? Because once again, that is the tendency that we've been talking about also over this weekend. When you're thinking about I instead of about team,
Mhm,
you
mhm,
cause issues.
mhm,
And
mhm.
if you didn't know that he was going to do that, okay. But if you knew and you had no game plan whatsoever, they didn't announce until Thursday that they had a linebacker and a safety switching over to being running backs. So you're going off the depth chart to give you depth in there. As soon as I heard that, and then Winnington was already banged up with a bad ankle too, I was like, oh, this is not gonna be good. And
Yeah, I
then
did.
what and then lo and behold, what happened? It turned into a boat race.
Mhm.
Michael Irvin was somewhere on that sideline with red and white on, saying whooping the side of a water tank with an Oregon jersey on because they put belt to ass.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was at the other side of it. and I text you this. It made you appreciate Indiana even more
Well, yeah,
because and I'm glad and Greg McElroy and Sean McDonough did a very good job of emphasizing the fact of Indiana has no 5-star recruits. They have a couple of 4-star.
yeah,
All
yeah.
their
Wasn't
players,
that many?
there wasn't that many. But when they interviewed Signetti and he sat there and said, my philosophy of the portal and for recruiting is that I want the players that have been there, that's been in school for year 2, year 3, year 4, graduate students that know the fundamentals of the game coming into it. They didn't play the reps. They didn't done that. And then I can add on to it with it. You might have not been a 3 or 4-star, a 5-star recruit when you first came out, but now you're at a 3 and a 4 right now.
Hmm.
And you're coming over here and I'm gonna make you better. What?
Yeah. Um. God, I wish I could remember his name. Let me see if I kept that up. Oh,
For
daggone
what
it.
school?
Daggone it. Daggone it. Daggone it.
But he went, but it made for them, they are on the biggest heater in college football in a long time. For them to go in and knock out Ohio State, go in and knock off Alabama, and it's not the same Ohio State, it's not the same Alabama teams in the past, but for the name recognition to go in there and basically handle Ohio State in the second half and beat them, completely obliterate Alabama with their 4 and 5-star recruits, and then completely obliterate. I didn't understand why they were saying that Dante Moore might have been the number 1 draft pick. I didn't think he
Hmm.
was number 1, and I watched every game.
Well, I think they were thinking that because they weren't giving a whole lot of respect to. That was more about how they felt
Mendoza,
about Mendoza than it was about.
you better change that shit down then. When the man had more touchdown passes than incompletions,
Mhm.
and it was never a rushed. It was never him run. The only fear that I have for him when he's playing is they've got to train him on how to run with the football. He
Yes.
runs over his feet. And the first time somebody comes in there flying in there, they gonna take out his knees and he's gonna be out because he has no center of balance whatsoever. I was waiting on somebody just to grab his ankle and watch him start doing forward tumbles as he go down the field the way that he was running. But he was breaking away and dipping on them. I was just I was happy when I seen everybody that was eligible to leave for Oregon's defense come say they no, we're running it back. They all the ones that would have been probably top 10, the top to first round draft picks on their defense that all are saying that they're coming back. They have to fix their secondary and they have to figure out what they're going to do with the running game because yeah, you had your workhorse, but Oregon has always been known to have at least 3 to 4, 4 to 5 to 6 running backs in depth. For you only had 3 in your depth, and all 3 of them either left or was hurt to where you had to bring in the one player that more when he went to drop back for that pass and he did the play action and he knocked the ball out of his hands. That's the corner slash safety that they moved over to being a running back.
Mm.
That's why I'm like, it got ugly quick.
Yeah.
And the other part about Signetti that made it to where I hope I don't have a root interest in this championship, but I hope that he wins it because that man did not care about the score at all.
Mm-mm.
It was about execution the entire while. And I think I said I didn't mean to say Belichick in the voice message I sent you. I meant to say Saban, but it's almost in that same ilk. That is that I don't care about what the score is. If we go moving down the field, I'm not taking my foot off the brake. I'm gonna score and I'm gonna score. And then if you can't stop me, I'm gonna score again. I'll put my backups in. If they gonna score, they gonna score. That was a statement. These past two games have been statements. They don't care. They hear, and they are going to go right at you. And then seeing how he's already reloading in the portal is making it to where I'm like, we're witnessing Alabama from the 2000s to the 2010s possibly starting to form again, and it's right up the road in Bloomington. And that's going to be scary because now Ohio State, you're not the crank. You didn't win the Big Ten championship the past 2 years, but you won a national championship. Technically, you up there in the Big Ten, but now it might be another big boy that's in here. You can keep on getting your 5-star wide receiver recruits and your quarterbacks and everything else in there for it, and have a defense that's in there. If he's got vets that's running plays as crisp as an NFL offense, it's not going to matter. Yo, athletes win. Athletes win one-on-ones. Teams win games, and that team ran. So I don't. I was shocked. I'm not. I won't even sit there and act like I was gonna wear an Oregon jersey on Friday, but then I followed my rule that I don't wear my team's jerseys on game day because I'm not a team on there, and it's sad because my son follows that same thing. So his jersey that I just got him for Christmas was hanging up in my den for it because he just left it in there, and I just looked over. I was like, I'm so glad he didn't wear that today to work because he would have probably just been getting railroaded the entire while. It was bad. And then
Yeah.
Ole Miss in Miami, chef's kiss. That was a great game. It's just,
They okay. So in my opinion, because I was watching the game, but I didn't realize certain things. Like I didn't realize Mesidor went out hurt.
mm-hmm,
That's not good. Because him without Bane without Mesidor, that
no pressure.
that did not look good. And
No.
you have to get pressure on Mendoza, and you got to be able to shut down that run game, or Indiana gonna be a problem. Michael Irvin or no Michael Irvin. Ah,
Either way, it Miami. The only thing that's giving me false sense of this could be interesting is something to where I think they need to address going forward. There is no reason why, with this structure, that you should even remotely have it to where a team can be playing in their home stadium for the national championship.
fair.
And
I,
and it's, I mean, in the NFL, it is what it is because they schedule it years in advance. And I know they schedule it years in advance in here, but you got to have a contingency plan because if Indiana, for what they did, Indiana traveled to Atlanta. That stadium was 80-20. And that was the other thing that pissed me off because with all the boosters and everything else that is going through that school up in Eugene, and for everybody that sits up there and wants to beat that green and gold or whatever colors they wearing that day, it looked like something out of freaking college football 25, 26 in there where you just see a scene of red and a little sliver in the corner was green. That ain't good. And for Miami, and for Miami going home, and it's not like they playing in Miami. They're going home. They're going to be in the away. They might. I don't even know if they're going to make them go over and be in the away locker room because most of their stuff is already still there. So you got, and that's why I. Son tells me, and I'll ask you this: I got a certain kind of feeling this might be Michigan TCU again. No, Georgia TCU, where the hype was there. It was like, oh my God, the upstarts, U is back, or they was like TCU is come, the Horned Frogs are here, they're gonna do whatever, and then they just ran into a complete and utter buzzsaw that wasn't stopping at all. Didn't care what hype it was there.
Well, and that's why to me it is very important to know if Mesidor is going to be able to be there because for all the teams that they have played, they have not played any teams with the defense the level of Miami's when it comes to Mesidor and Bank.
True.
So so he has to be healthy. At least 80 to 90%. If he's not 100, if he's not 150, he needs to be 80 to 90%. And he needs to not need to come out that much because they're gonna need him to because you saw in that game at the beginning of the game and at certain times during certain parts of the game when Mesidor held on to that ball longer than 2 seconds, Oregon was able to create some problems for him in that pocket. So,
Hmm.
so in light of that, um, it is very important now. If they don't have him, yeah, that could be definitely from an Indiana. Indiana would be Georgia, and Miami would be TCU. Because if you can't get pressure on Mesidor, uh, that also means that you're probably not going to be able to do much in terms of getting pressure on him from from a run game standpoint, which will really make it ugly. If they can run on you and they can throw on you, that no, that's not. You don't want them that confident because, like we just talked about, Signetti is and that bewildered look. Okay, you asked. It could definitely to answer your question before I ask you a question. Yeah, that if they don't have Mesidor, I could completely see that being a Georgia TCU deja vu. But huh, but now but now I have a question.
Okay.
Is it just me or did both the coach for Oregon, Dan Lanning,
Hmm.
and DeBoer, did they really overlook them? Because
Yes.
during both games, there was times where the camera caught the looks on their faces,
And
and
they like this.
they were just like, what is happening?
It
I'm
was well with Lanning. It was after Lanning was after the fumble. After the fumble, where when the guy when the running back well the safety ran into the arm of Moore doing that, you saw that look on his face. But across the board, yeah, I don't think nobody took. This is what happens when you get somebody that has never been taken seriously and they get into a mode to where they make you take them seriously. That's why it was, oh, you thought that we wasn't playing, we was playing. They talked about when the board, either the board or um it was the board or somebody did something repeatedly, and Signetti was looking
it
on
was
the
in
side.
the it was in the second quarter.
Yeah,
he
and
went
see, yeah, you looking at the sideline like, for real?
he went from going for it on fourth to, oh wait, we're gonna punt. And then he called a timeout, and then he jumped back out, and then it was, okay, we're gonna punt. Oh wait, we're gonna go for it. And then, if I'm not mistaken, they called another timeout. And then I believe they finally decided to go for it, and they didn't get it.
And see, and they said you could look at Signetti's face like he was pissed. Like
Yeah, which he was already. That's just his
that's his
natural.
resting
He
face.
right. He like me. That's my look, and it's like I'm always serious. Look like I'm ready to tear somebody's head off. I could be completely fine. Um, but yeah, so. And then that was what I told you. I said, you know what? I hope they score 60. When you treat somebody like that, you are literally, it's like you're literally saying to them, I don't respect you. That's why I hit you up. I was like, you know what? They deserve this beating. I hope they get 60.
And that's what made it to where part of me is pissed at Lanning because you knew what got you there. The game in Eugene was close, but you knew where you was overmatched. You had time to look at it and try to adapt to it. But you threw a pick six. Let's call spade a spade. When I got there, when I walked in the house, and I was like, "Oh yeah, the game getting started." I'm about to sit down. I get comfortable. I got my frishes. I'm like, all right, I'm about to sit here, eat this super bad boy. And I'm about to. It's 7-0. What happened?
Hmm.
And then it was like the first play of the game, he threw a pick six. I said, "Oh God."
Hmm.
And then from there, it just snowballed. You couldn't stop anybody. It looked their defense for Oregon looked like they did on the back end of the JMU game. And it was like y'all was all big and burly when Texas Tech was out there. Y'all did this, y'all played and was in the game against them before. Why is it touchdown? Oh, turnover. Here come another touchdown. Oh God, not another one. And
Hmm.
by the time it got to halftime, I had to leave at halftime to go make a run. I purposely did not turn it on, but when they marked as your favorite teams on SiriusXM, it pops up with the score updates in the corner for it, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Oh my God, it's getting worse."
Yeah. Yeah,
Somebody,
he decided he decided to really just lay it
he
down.
didn't take out his starters.
No.
I thought for sure Mendoza's brother was about to get some run. No, I'm like, you had Mendoza taking the final knee just to put your foot on his throat.
Hmm.
And Mendoza was quicker to run. Okay, I'll get to him in a second. Mendoza was quicker to run to shake Lennon's hand than Signetti was. Signetti was like, I love you. Get out. Party time. Hoosiers.
Yeah, it's clear that the chip is on his shoulders because he feels he literally it's like he's literally feeling like y'all actually did underestimate me. Now, one thing that I wanted to speak on, especially since we're talking about it, I can't find it, and I'm still having problems with the logging on here directly, and I have no clue how to like bring my brand page up otherwise.
Mm,
Um, but there was this dude, and I swear it irritated me. I guess I should have went ahead and shared it in my other page, just so I could have shifted it over so that we could have played it today. But correct me if I'm wrong.
okay.
But aren't all the teams since NIL started allowed to draft whoever they want to draft, whatever their age range, whatnot?
Yeah, yeah.
So, and I remember the guy's first name. His last name is I remember his first name was Eddie. And he basically, that was his gripe. He felt like because of their age, it wasn't an underdog story. So never mind the fact that they weren't five-star recruits. Never mind that that very few of them were four-star recruits. He put all the other teams at a disadvantage because they were from the age of 23 to 25.
No,
Thank you.
because because and I'm gonna put it like this: you gave these players 4 and 5 star grades out of high school. There's no even playing field in high school. You got the haves and the have-nots. They could have been a superstar based off of 7-on-7 drills and not even being funny, playing in the Cincinnati Public Schools League. But when they get up there against other talent, that's why you see people leave from schools where they're not getting pushed to go somewhere else to be where they can be against upper talent to actually measure themselves against. We know where the powerhouses are. We know it's Ohio, Texas, Florida, California, Georgia. We know Pennsylvania. We know where those blue blood schools are. But you cannot sit there and say, oh, they're not a Cinderella story because they got players that's 20, 21, 22. Yes, you know why they have players that's 20, 21, and 22 years old? Because these people weren't already marked as being NFL ready before they even took a college snap. And all we're doing is waiting through the time in order for them to be able to be eligible to be drafted and hope they don't get hurt, hope they don't fail out, hope they don't do something stupid and get arrested or something else to where they can meet that potential that we heaped on them during that time frame. They got it out the mud. They were that 2 and 3 star recruit that had to pay that first year probably along with the scholarship in order to be able to go to school at that school. Might have walked on at that school and turned into the superstar that was there to make it to where one of these schools saw their potential and said, you know what? They in the portal, they fit the way that I want to play. Let's bring them over here. And then they flourish. You cannot sit there and say with a straight face, oh, they're not a Cinderella story. Nobody gave off about Indiana until the past couple of years. I told you, the one thing that I remember about Indiana was like had just cracked the top 25 with Michael Penix as their quarterback. When you see on they run to go to the BCS, beat them in Indiana. That's the last thing I remember about Indiana before last season. Who cares? Nobody. You cannot sit there. You put if you put it as a blind put a whole blindfold over somebody and took away all their senses except for their ears, and you sit there and say this team beat Ohio State 14-10. They beat Alabama in like a complete shellacking, and they just beat Oregon in a different shellacking. You would have got every team in the SEC, most of the teams from the Big Ten, and probably a couple from the ACC before you would have heard Indiana. So no, I can't stand. People always want to try to rain on somebody's parade. Let's call a spade a spade. Y'all, this is witnessing of a possible new dynasty in college football being born. This is the supernova that it exploded and a galaxy is getting ready to start forming around it. Because if you don't get on it and you don't understand it right now and you don't know what NIL has done, which you saw how NIL decimated a team that should have been putting up their best fourth effort against there, or you didn't see other teams that's been sitting up there worried about players entering the portal while they in this run for it. And this guy sitting up here saying, I ain't worried about shit. We just about to beat everybody ass. And that's what he's doing. And you got one, and they got one more in a week. And that's going, and if they knock that out and they go perfect, you can sit up there and you can he'll probably tell you to take that glass slipper and shove it up somewhere else because we got a daggone glass football. Point blank.
Yeah, but that just I watched it and like I said, I I marveled at the level of what the hell. And I listened to it and re-listened to it. Um just to make sure that I understand. You know me, I try to understand why people coming from right before I go, okay, my turn to talk. Um, oh Jesus. But yeah, that completely tripped me out. And this goes back to and this is once again having a beat a dead horse moment. Um, Players got to buy in.
Yes,
It does not actually matter who you recruit. And this is actually goes over to the NFL and this weekend, and we definitely gonna talk about it because I got to the point to where during that 49ers game I let my competitive side come out and I actually got mad at I got mad at Brock Purdy. I got mad at the 49ers in general, and I'm like, I I want this damn game. Y'all quit messing up. I want this damn game. But back to Oregon and Indiana. I mean, you sit up here and we we get the status quo.
mm-hmm.
But don't pay attention. Even then, you got to pay attention to the details. Even in that, the players have to buy in, or even the status quo ain't gonna work. And
Yeah,
that's what I'll be trying to convey. At the end of the day, the foundation and the details are always going to be important no matter what we do.
definitely.
And but with that, we're going to hit the next
Now, while you're doing that, two quick things. One, I'm sorry. The one thing about Mendoza that I will say is
uh-huh.
his personality sucks. He is robotic.
I understand, but I disagree. And here's why. The reason why I love it, he's being his natural self.
I get that.
We always sit up here and we tell people they can be their natural self, and then we contradict it, whether it be in relationships, whether it be in
Sure.
promoting people. When you promoting or not promoting people, it's a double-edged sword. Some people you might promote for the swag, and then the other ones you look at like, nah, no, I don't like your swag.
I don't want the
Your
swag.
swag scares me. It scares people. We're not you a hard worker, but no, we can't we we can't promote that.
But
Now,
don't he come across as that life insurance guy? Hey, you know what? If you want to buy, I can get you some long term life
and
insurance right here.
and then on top of that, he throwing Jesus in there and throwing Jesus in there, throwing in there hard.
Mhm.
He throwing Jesus in there the way people curse every other word.
Yeah,
And ain't nothing wrong with it.
it ain't. It ain't.
And
It just
and
well.
and and that's exactly my point.
I
You
hope that it, and I hope. I really, really hope that that's his genuine self. I really
I
do.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if it is because I saw his parents in the crowd.
True.
I saw his
Now,
parents in the crowd. I honestly would not be surprised if that is his the way he is naturally. And because, like I said, they kept showing his parents in the crowd, and they looked like they like that. So it's like,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, I see it. Like I don't even need to hear either one of them talk. I I see him in them,
In there.
just looking at them. And I know you ain't supposed to do people, but actually, it's a positive because it's like, okay, I see where he got it from. Just by looking at his parents, and then listening to the analysts because they
Talk
actually
about
got to talk to him
yeah.
and and just so yeah, I personally like it. But what we can do since we didn't really talk too much about that other game, we can spend part of this time talking about Ole Miss and Miami because they got lucky. Miami got lucky.
Yeah.
To me. They got lucky that once Mesidor went down because I thought something was wrong with the defense the longer the second half went on. I just couldn't put my finger on it until later on in the fourth quarter. Might have been halfway through the fourth quarter. They
And they say he
finally
was in a
said it.
medical tent.
They was like, yeah, Mesidor's down. He's done for the game, and somebody else had gone down. And I'm like, that's
They
why
had lost the
everything.
safety. They had lost the safety for targeting.
We, yeah, that too. Which that one, okay. So that's like they went through that in the NFL. So I am confident that they will fix that because that's one of them situations of he was bracing for the hit while
Right.
dude was coming at his body. Had he not crouched to brace for the
Down,
hit,
he wouldn't have got the hit for it.
right. So which you remember they was when they first made that rule in the NFL in the name of safety, they was nailing a bunch of people and then eventually they was like, yeah, that is unfair. I mean he crouched down to brace for the hit and that's the only reason that the helmet.
The only reason why they gave him targeting was because it was helmet to helmet. But they didn't and by the letter of the law, helmet to helmet is automatic targeting. And I'm like, you gotta get some gray area in that. Because if he's trying to avoid if
Well, it
he's
was the
running
launch. Had he
right
not launched the I will give the college former referee dude, I will give him his due. He calls him more down the middle than the guy in the NFL. He tends to have the referees back more than
I just think that he did. Yeah,
than the NFL. Um they'll I will give them that. But
but they did dodge a bullet. I don't. I don't take nothing away from Ole Miss, and I hope that they. I'm sorry about what happened with Chambliss right afterwards, but them not granting his Chambliss.
yeah,
See,
that's right. Yeah, I heard about
a lot
that.
of people don't realize Chambliss was at a Division II school that had just won back to back or they had just won a national championship before
And
he
he wasn't
transferred.
the only one. Apparently, this is a thing because if I'm not mistaken, who was that won a college game? They was on a different team, but it seemed like Ferris State seems to put out champions and send them
Mm-hmm.
elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I kept hearing Ferris State's name over different college bowl games, and I'm like, the hell?
Because a lot of people don't realize the transfer portal goes across even FCS schools. So you can have the starting quarterback from North Dakota State coming over and being the quarterback over at Clemson after a season in there for it. You can have uh, Montana State's quarterback going over to go play at USC. You can do that. So when I when they said that he was trying to get a 6-year eligibility, which I'm sorry, unless there's been medical reasons, because you got to think about it. They said Carson Beck, this is Carson Beck's 7th season of college football. He should have his master's degree by now. But And then they said Tony, when he first started playing, Tony was 11 years old. Now that's your number one target.
Right.
You cannot, it should be carte blanche. Either you have this amount of years, including red shirt years, or you cap that 4 with one red shirt to give you 5. That's it. And medical red shirts, if you're gonna give medical red shirts, you give one medical red shirt. Because at the end of the day, the fairness is this. In the NFL, you don't get a medical red shirt. You hurt, you out for the season. And then they count that against you in your contract if you repeatedly hurt for your next contract. So how am I going to sit up here and be a quarterback starting year 1? I blow out my knee year 2, medical red shirt. Oh, I transferred. I'm behind a starting quarterback that they don't want to move me in. Okay, I red shirt again. Now I'm a 4th-year sophomore.
I hope not only, well, obviously since he can't come back, it's not going to be complete. But I still hope that next season, Ole Miss is able to build upon this, even though Chambliss can't come back.
I think so, because I forgot who they got in the portal right afterwards. Because they already got the backup. They already got a replacement for him. And that's the other thing. They're moving the same thing that Ole Miss is dealing with, Oregon's dealing with. Because Moore still has another year of eligibility. Moore hasn't declared yet. And they just signed Riola from Nebraska. So Riola could actually do a Dante Moore in red shirt if Moore comes back, just like Moore red shirted behind Nix. No, not Nix. I'm 2 years ahead. Gabriel, and let Gabriel run that season last year while he learned the playbook and then came out this year. He could do that. But it's like they don't, as soon as it hits, it's like, all right, cool. All right, so who's next up? And you've seen it also with Kiffin they said Kiffin flew to Knoxville to chase somebody down, and he ended up getting him. And then now Heupel is flying back to LSU to try to see if we can still convince him not to go there. I'm like, this is getting ridiculous because you don't know. You don't know. They have to clean up the schedule. They have to clean this up next year. They cannot have, for all the excitement of the U being back, what Ole Miss is doing, Indiana's resurgent, Oregon taking another step forward after the debacle of last year. All these things going on, and what's everybody talking about? Transfer portal,
the drama of LSU
and Ole Miss,
mm-hmm.
the drama of Michigan,
yeah,
and then the coaching, and then any other coaching vacancies. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, it's all the drama stuff.
But I will say this: if Miami can run the ball effectively, it's going to be a little bit tougher for Indiana. The one thing that Indiana
and Brown and Winchester can run. So I mean,
right. And the one thing about Indiana that's to me hasn't been fully tested because of situations is their run defense. Because Alabama hadn't been able to run against Alabama couldn't run against the Golden Girls, let alone anybody else during the season. So I wasn't worried about their run attack when they went up against them. But then I thought Oregon's run attack would be something decent. That wasn't there. So if Miami runs, that might be when you start to see what the real Indiana is. Gotcha. Now, the other part about that is Mendoza looks like he's like part of the Cuban mafia. So if running backs start to just turn up and be like, hey, he hurt all of a sudden, be like, wait a minute, what happened? He was just fine. They hit kneecaps. But
Right.
it's
Um,
it's not that game was intense. I think that game, the two last games, the Oregon Indiana game, and then last night with New England and San Diego. Them were the two. The end caps was the two disappointing games. Everything else, oh, I was sitting up there on Thursday night like this, like ooh, 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 and the defense. I'm gonna say something that you're gonna love. Gap discipline.
say it
When
again.
gap discipline.
Okay.
When Beck play faked on the run where he ran for that touchdown, that linebacker was his spy.
Hmm.
That linebacker bit so hard on that run fake to where by the time Beck came around out of that fake into that rollout and he looked and he said, "Oh my God, there's nobody here." He was skipping to my Lou 5 yards out because nobody was within 10 yards of him. And I'm like, and you saw the linebacker go like, and then you saw the safety look at him go, and that's how they walked off the field. I was like, oh my God, why? Why? It would have been so, if he would have just stayed still, he would have been right there to make a hit. But weirder stuff has happened.
Uh, so I'm about to do a pull from the headlines for college.
Okay.
Apparently, Cam Coleman decided to transfer to Texas. Uh,
Yes. Yes. And it's not, I don't get, I don't, you're seeing with these transfers because I guess his boy or whatever was trying to get him to Texas A&M, commented underneath his thing was like, bet, and then shared the date when Texas plays Texas A&M. You're about to see a new style of the rivalry start coming out because we're friends. They like, hey, come over here, this, and then you go into rivals. Not only did you spurn my team, you spurned me because you could have been over here playing with me and you went to the rival. Yo, blood, you really wanted to join up with them? For real? All right, cool. That's just like the player from Alabama that was looking at Auburn. You got one that went from Oklahoma, that went from Texas that's gone to Oklahoma. Like it's crossing over. It's not gonna be it's not gonna be an easy game for these players when they go out there because yeah, you might be going over here because of the money or the opportunity to play with Arch Manning and therefore, but we all know Arch Manning got a lot of room to develop. You might not see the ball.
the one thing I will say is that if he can build on the way he ended the season, Texas might be a problem next year.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like to help him in that process, they need to go ahead and quit playing and get some run game going.
Yes.
Uh, so which you could say that about so many. Obviously, you could say that about so many quarterbacks, college or pro. But with that, we are going to cross over um
And
to
the
the
input.
NFL.
Oh
And
God.
that's where we will that's where we gonna stay because quite frankly
We got an
And
hour to be on the NFL, and Lord, we need every minute of it because it was. We're gonna work our way backwards. New England showed me a lot yesterday. Their defense is the truth.
no.
Wait. Their defense is the truth. But
Mm-mm.
what also came out of that one was, and I sent you this. I don't want to hear nothing else about Herbert being in the elite status. I know that people need to have that in there for it. And here's the reason why I don't want to hear that. What's John Harbaugh's mantra? He wants to run the ball and stop the run.
Mm-hmm.
And he builds from the inside out. That's been
Mm-hmm.
his number one thing. Whatever you thought that you was building in that inside with that offensive line you had in there was made out of paper mache. That they offensive line got abused last night.
Well, I mean, obviously, it started at the beginning of the season. With we were talking about it last night with Becton. Then it hit Slater, and Slater was the one I was thinking about last night because
Mm-hmm.
there was three new additions, and that had them solid. They were solid. That's part of the reason
They
why.
were supposed to be solid.
Yeah, they were supposed to be solid, but what happened was after the first game, Becton got hurt. Then Slater was out for the season. Then John Alt moved. That helped. That helped. And then he started getting dinged up. And then he finally, I can't remember what week it was, then he was finally done for the season. And it's like, I talked to somebody about this today. If there is one team that their offensive line has been like super cursed, like we talk about the Bengals being cursed when it comes to hurt offensive linemen, messing up the chemistry and any potential for whoever the quarterback is at the time to like be something.
Mm-hmm.
San Diego, if the Bengals is first, the Chargers are 1-8. Remember,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Chargers, that was the reason, their line was the reason why they got rid of Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm.
They blamed him. But that was the thing back then. It was like if your quarterback wasn't nothing, even if it was clear that the line wasn't worth wasn't worth the paper that they were put down on.
True.
Uh the quarterback gets blamed and you got to go. It's like, and as soon as they did it, I still remember my reaction. I started laughing. I'm like, what are y'all stupid? But then again, I remember him from Purdue.
True.
He used to terrorize my Wolverines. I just, once he got to the NFL, I said, okay, all right, I don't hate you anymore. Good luck, sir. But I also knew he was going to San Diego, so that was both a genuine good luck and a good luck with your career. So, but ugh, they
And then
can't.
the drops from the veterans. Keenan Allen, Mr. Reliable. Just it just wasn't.
Mm-mm. And I've been thinking this about him even when he went to Chicago, which Chicago, I guess they did good not getting rid of DJ Moore because he wasn't. I guess you got to have the right person in the room to get somebody to act right.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess it's good Chicago didn't get rid of him like I would have. Um, because he is helping Caleb. Uh, Although so is a lot of these teams that can't do their job for four quarters either.
True.
So, and let's face it, we talked about the Bengals and that being part of their problem, and quite frankly, without Micah, that's Green Bay's problem. It was a problem last year.
True. That is true. It just was looking at that when that game was 9-3. And I'm like, okay, they about to score. They about to take the lead. And then it was just like, what are you doing? And some of the hits that he got away. I don't want to hear nothing about tuck rule or nothing else, no more with NFL rules whatsoever. Because that one play down there by the goal line where he sidearm flipped it underneath his arm and Vidal was in the area and they called it an incomplete pass, even though it hit the lineman in the back. I'm like, that's not grounding. He's not even looking where he's throwing it, unless y'all basically saying any type of forward motion like this is a pass.
So they didn't call grounding on that.
No,
I thought they did.
no, they did not call grounding. They didn't call it a fumble or grounding.
Oh wow.
That's why I'm like, what? And they kept on saying it was like, yeah, that's gonna be one that's gonna be used for teaching methods on there for from here on out because there's no way that that was not grounding when he tried to get rid of that ball. And then no sooner as they did that, I think the next player to play after that, he got sacked again.
There was another game where that same thing happened and they called grounding. I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember what was it was the Patriots game.
First two.
Uh was it the Patriots game? Or was it Chicago and the Packers? Might have been Chicago and the Packers.
I don't know.
But I know that I know that exact play happened this and they actually did call grounding on it.
And that's why I was like, there's no way. I know the rule. He wasn't outside the tackle box. He wasn't throwing it to the line of scrimmage. It hit a lineman. I was like, there's no way. There's no way that this wasn't grounded. And then they was like, oh, they ran a play. They're good. I'm like, oh,
Well, yeah, because if you hurry up and run a play before they decide they want to talk about it, it is what it is.
but yeah. So kudos to New England. New England gets to host another game. May showed some moxie in there for it. I hope that they don't. No, you know what? I want them to get Houston. I want to see it. I really want to see it. I want to see Houston's defense against them and see if they can muster up the same thing like they did before with against Houston's defense. And if they can, then New England will be somebody that you will have to say is a favorite to go to the Super Bowl. I don't see nobody dealing with Houston's defense. I think that tonight is going to be something to where they show can't nobody really mess with their defense. Pittsburgh, it's a home game for Pittsburgh, but I don't give them a chance. Not with the way that that defense been clicking for Houston the past few weeks.
Well, um, I'll save it. Um, the way their defense has been playing, yeah, it is going to be interesting, but um, but the problem is, matter of fact, thank you because you just made me think about that. Um, let's see, Houston Texans offensive line. Okay. For 2025. Cause see, oh, this game might be, yeah, this game might be closer than everybody thinks.
Why? Why?
If 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 what I'm seeing from FTN Fantasy is true, their offensive line, well, wait, they line can't be 22nd, 32nd.
Who?
The Texans.
No.
Where can I go look and see what their offensive line ranking is?
Pro Football Reference. Uh, that's where I normally see the grades and stuff. Let's see
Hmm.
here. Because I need to see what that stat was for that. Because I'm not the uh rating offensive line. Oh, shoot. And
Because to me, when it comes to the QB situation, um, I kind of look at him the way I look at a lot of the way I look at a lot of the quarterbacks. And quite frankly, if that line, if they could get any pressure through that line on Stroud, that's going to be an equally as bad night for Houston, no matter what their defense is doing. And if they can manage to keep the defense for Houston on the field longer than they should.
ooh, they are ranked low.
Where'd you find that at?
Pro Football PFF.com. They're found
Okay.
2025 rankings. They're
Uh,
27th. The only teams that was worse than them was the Bengals, the Dolphins, the Chargers, which is funny, Cleveland, and Vegas.
yeah. So, okay, NFL. Did you find it under power rankings?
No, I'm sending it to you now.
Okay. But yeah, that's not good. Like even for however you feel about the Steelers defense, that's not good
Yeah,
because of the fact that uh because of the fact that like I said, yeah, they might make things hard on Aaron, but if they line ain't that great and they can't run, and when they try to throw, Stroud is always on the run. Let's be honest. Had Green Bay been in terms of gap discipline and the edge rushers kept contained and they treated him like the Cam Newton treatment. We've seen what happens when teams do that to Caleb. He ends up
yeah,
sacked.
yeah.
But they don't keep contained because you get guys that just, I want to be the one to tackle him. No, don't be the one to tackle him. Just keep him in front of you.
Right. And that's how Caleb burned up Green Bay.
Keep him in front of you. Don't let him make any forward progress. Keep him running backwards.
Keep him running backwards and don't allow him. Caleb Williams, for as much as I've given him shit, the one thing that I will always praise him on is that he is the most accurate passer off balance that I have seen. And he
Yeah.
proved it. When he threw the pass on that fourth down, when he was falling away and the ball was a tight spiral through the Chicago wind right into Loveland's hands. I think it was Loveland going down that field. Oh, I was sitting there. I was like, you know what? They got this game, and that's why I did not want to say anything about that game going into it because I was like, there's no way, shape, or form that he can sit there and bring them back from where they was. But I learned my lesson from the previous games where I sat there and said, no. They gonna come back. They ain't gonna come back. This game over with. I sat there. As soon as I was getting ready to type it, I was like, nope.
As soon as I saw how the beginning of the third quarter went, and they kept going 3-and-out, and I went, and it starts.
Yep. And that's why I said, and LaFleur should be gone. It's
The
I'm
but the only way you can make him gone
so you get Harbaugh.
is if you get somebody that you know you're going to the Super Bowl. There's no shadow of no doubt. And this is the problem with most of these teams. Like anybody with a quarterback that they talk about and put them in the elite conversation, if you fire the coach, blaming the coach, you are opening the door to this is why as happy as whatever that post was that Lamar posted with him and his teammates and basically the song I can't remember by who it was, but saying you must not know me. Well, here's what I do know. I may not know you personally, but I know you in trouble right now because even if you do get kept in Baltimore, you have to win the Super Bowl or they gonna be looking at you next.
Yep.
Especially if your mother looking out for your best interest.
Mm-hmm.
Love her baby. Got you signed up for more money. And I'm man, I'm telling you, it's the way he's done it though. That kind of usually when players do it that way, success does not come. It doesn't come. Ayuk didn't come, and then for whatever happened, now he acting all funky to the point to where it's like, okay, we San Francisco's like, we need your talent, but we've had enough.
Right.
And so now the question will be, if he can get himself better, where is he going to end up at? Because there's places where you can go, and we got plenty of time to talk about some of those places for some of these people, and that gets us over to let's see here. Actually, let me look at the playoff bracket. I burned myself on the Packers. It is what it is. Um,
Yeah, everybody I think burnt themselves on the Packers, even if we took Chicago, because you have to think about
and
it.
they should have won.
Green Bay should have won that.
Green Bay should have won that, but between the play calling,
You put Josh Jacobs back there as your kickoff returner. For what?
and then this thing, you only ran it 3 times in the third quarter, and you got
Yes.
Jacobs and Wilson.
Yes.
Why did this? Why does it have to be quarterback versus quarterback? Why?
And
You
that's
had the lead.
and that is
What?
exactly why I said he has to go. This is not the first time you didn't decide it. Any other coach that knows football would sit there and say, I got this large of a lead. If I'm going to try to bleed the ball out for it and make them have to stop me in order to do it, I'm going to run the ball. Not, I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass. 3-and-out. 5 seconds gone off the clock. Touchdown. Other way. All right, we're going to do it again. I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass. Touchdown. Going down the block. Why isn't it working? What am I supposed to be doing? We've been running and getting running plays all the time. Now I want to pass the ball. It's not working. Oh my God. We have to figure out something. And you know
That's
you're not getting any type of blocking on your offensive line long enough for Love to make a throw. They were surgical
all
the
the
entire first half.
all of these, whether it's pros or college, you sit here and watch these games. That was part of the reason why Ole Miss came. That was another reason why Ole Miss was able to bring things back around because for a time there, I was looking and I'm like, why is Beck throwing so much when they haven't been able to stop the run? What are we doing?
It's
And
it's frustrating because you sit there and you're looking at them and you're like, y'all got this. Y'all can do this. Green Bay's about to pull the upset off. And then it was like, no, 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 touchdown. Oh God.
I gotta make it Love versus Caleb. I gotta
No,
he trying to
man,
beat me with his quarterback. I'm gonna beat him with my quarterback.
and
No,
then okay,
dumbass.
here's the other thing. You made all this splash to get Trayvon Diggs over there, and you played him for one freaking play in the secondary the entire game. That's it. One. Even if he can't run that well, you could have put him on Loveland.
Nah.
Loveland, he would have gotten physical with Loveland, and Loveland might have ran past him a couple of times. But if you got another safety cover, you were playing man to man against Loveland with somebody that couldn't either match up with him physically off the line or run with him step by step. And
Is
Loveland
Komet
was
hurt?
who?
Komet.
No,
Oh no. No. No, no,
but
no.
Komet hasn't been. Komet's targets have dropped so considerably since Loveland took off, and Loveland has became Caleb's number one.
Yeah.
So it
Well,
was like, but it was this, and I'm sitting up there. I'm telling you, if they run a game on Prime, watching it with the Prime video where it's pretty much the all 22 and it showed the routes as they ran it and who was blitzing everything else, shit was neat. But to see Loveland getting open, pulling away from safeties or linebackers that was dropping back in coverage constantly over the middle, and they just was eating, and you never adjusted to either go too high or go one high spot on where he was. It made it to where it was a headache. I was sitting there, I'm like, he's wide fucking up. There go another one. Up, he's wide open. There go another one. Up, he's wide open. The fuck am I watching? Because it was constant, and it was they. And every time they did it, it was in them two high. It was in two high safety, and one of them will come down the box, and the other one will be out there like, "There's somebody around here. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is." And then looking around, the guy's hands up like, "Who's supposed to be covering him?" It was you.
oh, mo.
Like, oh, that's right. The hook. He's got a touchdown. We're still up. Get the ball back. Up. Look, there he goes again. When they came back and they were like, when they scored the touchdown, I was like, oh yeah, this is a wrap. I don't even need to see the ending of this one. They didn't. LaFleur all of a sudden they started rolling again once they got down. Like, oh yeah, let's go back to what we were doing before. You think? Do it right this time. I'm,
Yeah,
I'm
but the defense was too much. The front seven, the front four was they were not keeping contained on the edges.
they couldn't. They couldn't. And by the time it got to the back end
Well,
of
I
that
mean, I mean, it's definitely hard to do it if you keep going to the inside or like you got him in front of you and you keep falling for every move. No, you don't fall for every move. You keep contained. If he coming the other way, then there should be somebody if the other edge rusher, just like I said, the whole I call it the Cam Newton defense. They basically just told the edges, You keep contained. Just go straight. Trust me, he gonna run into one of y'all, and
Right.
you make sure you get him, or you get the holding call to get him back. And that was another thing that was annoying me the past couple of days because people were calling holding calls like cheap holding calls, and it was like, oh, he really sold it. You just said he was holding him. What are we doing? You just admitted he was holding him, but you called it a cheap call. What are we doing?
This should be letting them play. Like what?
And this is why I say get rid of the refs and then everybody shut up. If they cheat, they cheat. It was like, well, this is what you wanted because you don't want the refs. You don't want the refs involved. Make up your mind. Y'all like the government. Y'all like people against the government. One minute y'all against the government, they legalize weed. Now all of a sudden everybody cool with the government.
Yep.
What are we doing? It's like, do you not want the refs to do their job, or do you not want the refs to cost you the game because your players won't do their job? Which one is it?
And it's just
Now,
like you sit there, you just like, man, I can't even get mad at some of those calls because some of them was letting them play, and they was letting them play with it. And it had
they
to
were
be
trying, but
they were trying to.
there's certain stuff they can't like. Okay, dude, you can't be that egregious. It's like I'm trying to let you play here. Will you please just if you sitting up here and you clearly grabbing outside and you pulling them and the player coming right by him and
And
the
you
ref
can't
see
turn
him,
away or jerking away from it.
it's like he got to call. He's like, oh, why you call that? Why
Right.
couldn't dude have just kept his hands inside? And as soon as he felt dude trying to pull away from him, yeah, you got to let him go. Either push him forward or let him
Let them
go.
go. But they don't want to let them go. They want to hold on for dear life and hug them and love them and squeeze them and tease them and say all the
Right,
stuff that's in his ear. Like,
right.
like,
It did get mad. Like, what? Why you call it? Oh, you
why
called
you
it.
call it on me? I was just trying to make sure he didn't kill my quarterback, but you can't hold him that way. Oh,
Like,
oh.
man, you ain't have to call that shit. Man. Yeah. Uh, now,
Trying to think here. Who else did we miss here for it? Jacksonville got exposed.
I, for all the talk, they, the Bills defense has consistency issues. They really do.
Yes.
They have consistency issues. Um, like some of the other ones I done talked about, they can't be trusted for 4 quarters.
No.
And they also can't be trusted in terms of playing against complementary football, aka, well, they can't stop the run. Sometimes they stop the run, sometimes they don't.
Don't.
They just
Yep.
they just not consistent. So obviously Etienne, we know he can run. But if that particular day the front seven is feeling extra confident that they can take down a line, say the Jaguars line, then ATN ain't gonna be able to run. There went your everybody can run on the Bills.
And then
So
and for Buffalo to win that game
and
without Cook getting off,
and Cook got shut down.
good old Shakir came out of nowhere and just was catching
And,
everything.
and, and but you know what else it was though? I don't know if this is a resurgence, but them getting Brandon Cooks when they did
True.
clearly helped things because yes, he's old. Yes, he may have lost a step, but Brandon Cooks is no slouch.
No, he's never
He
been one.
he has a ring. The closest he could come to being a slouch was whatever the hell was going on with him when he was down in Dallas. because he was not the Brandon Cooks I was used to, whether it was his stint with the Patriots or his stint with the Rams. He
Yeah.
Yeah, he was not that when he was in Dallas. So it was hard to kind of defend him when even I watched the games and I'm like, you got his number,
Yep.
but you don't seem like the Brandon Cooks I know. So yeah, and it happens like that. You never know why. You always question. But anyway, that definitely. So once again, just like we talked about with KC, it ain't necessarily that you need a barn burner. You just
No.
need you just need somebody competent
And it's when it gets down to it,
to be a distraction.
you need a distraction. You need somebody to be a distraction, either to get your tight ends open or to loosen it up to where your running back can get in there for it.
And and they take a step forward and then they take 12 steps back. Gabe Davis is done for the season.
Yep. I saw the play when he tore his ACL. And I felt for him because that's the exact same thing that happened with him with Jacksonville. And it's the exact same leg. So he tore his reconstructed ACL.
Mm.
So I don't want to say that it's career ending, but to re-tear ACL, he's not going to be back for at least a year because they're going to have to probably do a complete replacement and take it off the ball and get a cadaver one out from the bottom of his leg or something and attach it to it and let it grow back.
And this is gonna seem insensitive, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
Go ahead.
It's time to for these front offices to truly start evaluating and cleaning house. In
Yeah,
partic in particular, San Fran, especially
really.
y'all, especially y'all. Let me explain what I'm talking about. You
Okay.
you got these players that you love, you respect, they're beasts, but they stay hurt way
I'm
too damn much. Now it's one thing if you get hurt and then you get a year, another year, or maybe a year and a half.
mm,
But give me some time where I'm paying you to be more on the field than off the field. If I'm paying you more off the field than on the field, with all due respect, you got to go. Because as good as you are, it's messing up the flow of the offense, or it's messing up the flow of the defense, especially if you're so good that everybody depends on you as a major part of what's going on. Kind of like what happened in with Pittsburgh and Cleveland, because every time they lost Palomalu, all of a sudden the defense went to crap.
yep.
What was his name that ended up getting kicked off of Cleveland and sent to Pittsburgh? He was a corner. Oh man, this makes me mad because he was a beast.
Hayden,
Hayden, yeah. Every time he got hurt,
they defense went to shit.
yes. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and I'm
Joe
like,
Hayden.
and that's what I'm saying. This is not hate. This is just a situation of, especially you being a coach, your job is on the line.
True.
So that's a situation where it's like, dude, I love you, but yeah, this ain't it. Now, okay, it happens one time, okay. But the level that has been going on with Kittles and
Oh
Winters
my God. You
and
killed.
just everybody that was either was on San Fran or some of them that's still with San Fran. That San Fran is still paying for that. The same thing with the Chargers and the offensive line. And no, no, no,
No,
no, no, no, no, no. And that
no.
whole thing that they did with Eckler and Allen and who else was it? It was one more because it was three of them. And every time you turn, and
Mike
which
Williams.
yeah, Mike Williams. Herbert got better.
Mm-hmm.
Herbert got better as time has gone on, but he's still taking a beating because between his line and his stars that he needs to throw to or hand off to is like they ain't there, but they being paid this money and they consider superstars, but you ain't got them.
Nope.
Like no, 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 no. We gotta stop this. We got to stop this because you got to put forth a competitive team. If you're not going to get rid of them, then you got to make sure that your backups know, hey, don't be over on the sideline messing around. Make sure you're paying attention because he get hurt. I want you out there and it's been proven. It's now being proven on the college level. The 49ers right now with Robert Saleh, as far as I am concerned, I told you the other night, Robert Saleh was the MVP of that game. Matter of fact, he is the if anybody get coach of the year, hand it to Saleh.
Yeah.
I know he's an assistant coach because he's a coordinator, but what he's been doing with with what San Fran has left of their defense, and they went to the playoffs, but yet we got teams and people complaining. No, you need to pay players. You pay the
Mm.
players, and this the stuff like what Salah is doing in San Fran is the reason why I scream. Are they dialed in? Are they dialed in as a team? If they are not dialed in as a team, it don't matter if you pay them. What proof do I need? Well, let's think about that team that had 9 Pro Bowlers on the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Paid them all. Best he could do was with his eventually overpaid twice quarterback. If they made it to the wild card, they always lost. Who was that? Dallas.
Yeah. Did you see what I don't even think I sent it to you where Carter Williams went at the Dallas Cowboy fans. The Cowboy fans was making fun of the Philadelphia Eagles, like, y'all lost in the first round. They was like, how's this funny? You didn't even make it to the playoffs. It's like, but it was like y'all was winning and then y'all wasn't, and then y'all was there. And it's like, yeah, that was y'all the entire season. It was like it's Dallas is Dallas. We're not gonna beat them.
And this is why you have to be careful from all angles. Like, what kind of supporter are you? It's people like that taught me how to be a fan, how to analyze, and really be about the details. Now, every situation is not created equal. It's not going to be exactly the same, but at the end of the day, like we always talk about, there's a basic foundation that is going to always bring all of the details together because of that basic foundation. And we are seeing teams said it at the beginning of the season. Uh, uh, I got the vibe that you and Drew thought I was crazy,
Mm-mm,
but when I said we honestly don't know how this season's gonna go
mm-mm.
because of all these
Not at
changes
all.
and everything that's going on with it, and the way Kansas City is looking. We don't know what's gonna happen with that because 9 times out of 10, even though he probably shouldn't, Travis is gonna come back. So that's going to be one
Travis got to pay
problem.
for that wedding. He got to come back.
Um, uh, yeah, but
Got to pay for that wedding.
you're not focused on what or if you can't be completely dialed in,
But
then
this is where
you're gonna come back and you're gonna waste time. That's what he did last year. Him sitting up here being indecisive. Your brain is already telling you, quit being in denial.
if I've always had the thing, if you're questioning a move before you even started, you don't want to do it.
The
You got any type of
indecisiveness, you can
question?
hear it in his voice.
They've been asking them on the podcast because I've been catching the little snippets of their podcast. George Clooney, Matt Damon, I forgot who else was on there. They all asked him the same question. It was like, "Are you done after the season?" He keeps on tap dancing around it, and I'm like, "Dude, you got your chips. You got your chips. You got the girl. What do you want?
He,
And you're successful in this
he
other lane. There's nowhere that Travis Kelsey can retire and will have a job as one of the top two analysts on any station that he wants to go to because of his personality.
and even if I get that whole he don't want to let go, and maybe that's a part of the reason why he's being so indecisive, because he probably knows that he should, but there's part of him that just don't want to, because maybe he's not exactly maybe part of him, there's a mental part of him that actually isn't ready to let go, and I get that, but
You one bad hit
it ain't
away from
looking right
being
on the field.
right.
It's
You
not.
one bad hit or one bad play away from where it could go left. This is one of them sports where you can't sit there and half-ass it or not be focused on what you're supposed to be doing, because not only are you putting yourself at risk, you're putting everybody out there with you at risk at the same time, because they might hit you and or you might get hit the wrong way and then you're down. It sucks, but it's the truth. Because even with the only I'm trying to think here, the only team that really in the this weekend that really shocked me with how they played was, I won't even say Philly shocked me because I'm ready for that. Every team, the crazy thing that's came out this weekend is that every team that was favorite, that I would have thought, the only coach that I thought was safe out of the mainstays over the past 5 years was Shanahan. I thought LaFleur was a question mark. I think that uh, Nick over in Philly is a question mark. What's it called?
Oh, for
Cohen,
sure.
everybody, those LaFleur and what's called and I don't know why I'm trying to blank of his name. And Nick over in Philadelphia, his his inconsistency from year to year is just atrocious. I don't get that. It's like you can't get you are always good or okay. You have your spikes when y'all just look like world beaters, and then you'll have your other ones where you drop off the face of the planet. And that's why I wasn't Sirianni. No, I didn't even. I would not be surprised if you heard his name get popped up with it, because something along the lines, and then openly having that argument with AJ Brown on the sideline. Just no.
Actually, when he gave the details of it, although I think it was something else, I think it was just I understood the frustration, but I feel like the frustration was more of you sitting up here, you're pissing and moaning, and you out there dropping passes. So
Man,
when he was walking off the field, that probably just really escalated it, and um, that was that probably just escalated it, and then he just went over there like, hey, hurry up and get off the field. We don't need a penalty on top of all the stuff you not
But he
doing
ain't
out there.
lying. He ain't
Right.
lying.
So now I don't know the exact details of it. You can only go by, but according to what it was reported that he allegedly said, that it was about how slowly, which we used to get in trouble for that. You better not just jog off the field when you switching from offense to defense or defense to offense. Whoever coming off the field better see you running, or you gonna be running after the game.
Mm.
And uh, so
That's
yeah,
probably what he told him. That's probably what he told him, and they said he grabbed his stuff. He said his goodbyes, and he was out before they could interview him. But deuces. I don't
yeah,
have time for you.
and now I'm on the fence about Devontae because bottom line, he it it's a slippery slope because of the fact that they actually had a point. But I would not be shocked if the GM cleared house
I
completely.
wouldn't be surprised if he cleared house, but if I was, but at least Devontae showed up.
It,
I
he
can't. And
he
Devontae has been that. And Devontae has been that diva that is behind the scenes, sitting up there saying, "I ain't getting no passes, but I'm gonna go out here and go make myself look good." That was my whole argument yesterday. If you want to go somewhere else, you're building your resume for somewhere else. Don't make it to where if you gave me a choice between AJ Brown and Devonta Smith going to a winning team next year, a team that's one wide receiver away, they're gonna lean towards Devonta than they are against AJ. Because yes, AJ has the talents, but AJ is quickly going over into that TO realm.
he's been there. That's how like we was talking about it earlier. That's how he got kicked out of the
Right.
Titans. And I was scratching my head like, what the hell? But then I had to think about it. I'm like, okay.
And what
And
happened at the end of TO's career though? T.O. had to run with San Francisco. He had to run with Dallas. Then he went to Philadelphia for a couple of years, and then he went really on that diva train, and he bounced from place to place to place to place to end the season. Shit, T.O.'s got a jersey in the Cincinnati Bengals uniform.
and a Bills uniform
Right.
because he did not want to be up under Belichick's rules. He should have been in New England, and that's another reason why I knock him because all Belichick said was, "We'll take To, but we got a zero tolerance policy." I'm sorry, whatever I got going on, I'm straightening the hell up because if I remember right, and I will try to we'll go into this next week and try to look up the year that he went to the Bills to see what the Pats lineup was. Because if I'm not mistaken, Randy was still there. I don't know if they still had Hernandez, but I know they had Gronk. I know they had Edelman. They might have had Walker. He might have still been there. So you put To over there with that,
Right. It would have been, but he could not. But you
and he chose the Bills, dude. You chose
because
the Bills.
I don't want to get yelled at. I don't want to get yelled at. I want to be able to be me. I need to be the individual head of the snake. I have to be me.
And that's why every time I see that online where somebody I mostly see it when people are talking about relationships. I need to be able to be me, and I always ask myself like, okay, so what do you mean by that? Sometimes depending on who it is, if it's somebody I know, I'll ask them. I go, "What do you mean by that?" And what I mean when I ask, "What do you mean by that?" is because a lot of people had this tendency to not only am I supposed to accept the good stuff, but I'm supposed to accept your negative flaws. That if I projected your negative flaws on you, you would hate everything about it.
Got it. Right.
But I have to accept it from you. Uh-uh. No. No, 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 no. That's why I'm single right now, because I'm like, yeah, no. How about this? I'm with the accountability part, me being
Yeah.
accountability for me, making sure that I'm careful about my flaws getting out too much, keep myself in check, and whatever I need to improve on to help the relationship, I'm with that. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I want that same stuff, the same rule umbrella that I'm under. I need you to get up under this umbrella with me.
Yep.
Don't decide you're gonna stay outside the umbrella because the stuff under this umbrella don't apply to you. If it don't apply to you, then here you can take this umbrella because
But you'll be surprised. It's not it right now when it comes to this, like this off season, realistically, the wide receiver market and the other part when it comes to the wide receivers that makes it to where you can't play that game is you got too many wide receivers coming out of college that are plugging in and becoming number ones and tight ends, become plugging in and becoming number ones and number twos on starting teams or on up and coming or good teams right off the bat. You're not seeing too many of your upper echelon wide receivers that's getting drafted panic. Let's be real. You're not. Ted McMillan did his thing in Carolina. Other than that, this year, who was a top wide receiver that got drafted that actually showed out some way, shape, or form on their squad this year?
I think Golden would have showed out better had there not already been so many wide receivers
But
on.
the other part about that though was Golden was starting at the beginning of the season. He didn't start. Golden had his best game in that loss yesterday,
Right.
2 days ago.
But 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 that's the thing. He was starting out because there was people missing.
Right.
But as soon as some people started coming back,
But
then they got their spot. So
and I get that, but
so so and
they
and
always tell you if you got that opportunity in NFL, when you get that opportunity, you gotta show out because
and
you know that the reps are limited, especially in that wide receiver room, and you didn't do anything to take the reps from somebody else coming off of injury. That's why a lot of players
well,
always sit there and say
and
they
that's
can't
not
get the
gonna
injury.
happen, especially when you get a wide receiver that you drafted because of his speed. The problem with this is now he has to figure out how to make his speed adapt to the NFL and adapt to the quarterback that's throwing to him, and that takes time. That's going to
True.
take some weeks. So unless y'all are doing like Manning did with Rodriguez, I mean Gonzalez and Garcon, and staying after practice so
Yeah,
that you could get extra time.
and that's what you gotta do.
Which, yeah, but if Love ain't about that,
And that's where love. That's where I even said I even told somebody Saturday night. I said the worst thing for love right now is that you are the third one in a row that followed the same pattern across coaches, across administrations. It was we got a quarterback, we draft his heir apparent, he sits, he learns the scheme, everything else. By the second year of him sitting, The old quarterback, sorry, we love you. You gotta go. The next guy comes up, and he's done that. But that's been with all the other regimes. With policy being now the GM in Green Bay, LaFleur's not his guy. Love's not his guy. You cannot sit there with that. It's either one or two things that's got to go. Like you said, either they're going to clean house on that wide receiver room, or they're going to clean house of the coach and the quarterback.
And
And
to me, the wide receiver room has been part of the problem of why
because they can't stay healthy, they
they
got
can't
the
stay
drop
healthy, and yeah, they got the dropsies.
and they got the
And
dropsies. But also with that though is you got a quarterback that does not still a few years in does not know how to scan the field. There was plays in that game. There was plays in that game to where he did when he did his drop on a three to five step. He looked at one half of the field, never turned his head to go look at the other half, and then had people break it out to get open.
to me, unfortunately, the reason why he was doing that, if you're used to not having time and you know it,
Yeah, that
and
clock, that internal clock in your head.
and you got certain guys that you trust, which the one he trusted the most got hurt, and that's Kraft, which is
Yep.
sad. It's like, wait, so you got all these quote unquote, they always bragging
All
about them
your
every week,
receivers that you
all
love, your
these
tight end.
receivers, and the
And
tight end is who you trust the most.
but
And for some odd reason, the GM, the president, the owner, well, the owners, because the people of Green Bay own the team. Nobody looked up and said, "Hey, maybe we need to make some move at the wide receiver position since we're drafting Golden. Either one or two of these other people need to not be here." So
think
that
about
he,
it. Think about this. Look at every team that was out there this weekend so far. San
okay,
Francisco had Kittle. Loveland and Komet is in Chicago.
well, you talking about tight ends?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Loveland and Komet
well,
is.
they got
Buffalo got Kincaid and Knox.
they got Tongs too in
Yeah,
Tonges or
Tongus.
Tongs. Yeah, Tonges. Yeah, they have him too, but he hardly gets thrown to, so his catching is inconsistent because he never know when he gonna get the ball. Unfortunately,
With all those quarterbacks that were in the elite or in and younger, with that, their safety valve is their tight ends.
yeah.
It's always been their tight ends. They don't care. The wide receiver, that's why it gets, I laugh with the diva-ism that comes in there because if there's anybody that deserves to be a diva, it's the tight ends because they are pretty much the ones that's been saving y'all bacon. Y'all might get one or two deep balls and catch y'all out to the flat and run out of bounds. But these are the ones that's doing the yak after the catch. They catching the contested balls. They going over. Shoot, let's call a spade a spade. Um, was it Buffalo? Was it Buffalo? No, it wasn't Buffalo. Who was it that caught the sideline touchdown? Was that the 49ers?
Crap, I don't remember.
No, I forgot who it was. They caught the sideline touchdown, had the ball over their head when they crossed over and fell into the Rams. That was their tight end when they came back and won. That's what I'm saying. It's not that
Well, yeah,
everybody.
because Higby stays hurt, and I feel so sorry for Higby because he's actually a good tight end.
He's a good
He
one, but he's like you said, he stays hurt. And you know that as a tight end, you know that. But you as when you get to a point to where when you get to a point to where your wide receivers, let's be real here. When we look at Philadelphia, what is more detrimental for them to lose? Smith and Brown or Dallas Goedert?
got it.
Thank you. So what is the point of you? You can sit there and be the diva. You're the wide receiver. Yes, you're going to get paid. Yes, you're going to do that. But if you look at it production wise, you've never outperformed Goddard. So how
Well,
can you?
for for what his job is, no.
Right.
His job is the safety valve. His job is the blocker, the distraction, even when he's not catching the ball.
Exactly. So all those different intangibles that come into it for Dallas Goedert. If I'm a GM and I got a choice to either pay Dallas Goedert or pay AJ Brown, I'm gonna pay Dallas Goedert because Dallas Goedert is going to block for Saquon coming out of the backfield. Dallas Goedert is going to pop out in the flat. He will chip in order for that D end so he's not trying to kill Jalen Hurts. He's not going to go run halfway up the route and then stop because I know the ball's going on the other side of the field. I'm gonna run around on the other. I'm gonna run down the other side of the field and be throwing blocks as long as it's not illegal to make sure that my guy can go down the field. But that's where that argument comes into play. I don't. That's why when it comes down to it, you're putting yourself in a bind being a diva as a wide receiver now because you got Carnell Tate coming out. You got a myriad of wide receivers coming out. They can cut you or they can trade you, get younger, and get the same performance and get less cost over their cap so where they can put that money towards something else. And most of the teams with the cap space that's on there for it, those teams that's got that cap space is not teams that's incompatible. And I saw that earlier. That's what I meant to send you. I found available cap space. Yeah, here it is. So teams with available cap space in this year. Tennessee Titans got 105 million in cap space. The Chargers got 103. So that could be a possibility, but the Chargers need to pay that money on their offensive line. At least one. And they ain't gotta be the top one. Get somebody middle of the road that's got some good grades on there that can learn under Harbaugh. Don't go after the top left tackle again, because back then this is shit. Raiders 100 million, Jets 95 million, Rams 93 million. Under the cap, they 93 million with that squad. Why? Because that whole defense is on rookie year contracts. They're going to have to pay them within a year or two. Remember, after they won that Super Bowl and then Aaron Donald retired, he came off the cap. Whitworth retired. And then they cleared out that defense that following year when they tanked out. But they restructured that all on the draft. That's where you got a good scouting department, Bengals, and you can rebuild it right off the jump. But you don't want to pay that money for that. Now, on the flip side of it, and this goes into what you said last year. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is what goes into what you said earlier, especially with Travis Kelce. Top team over the cap next year, Chiefs, 43 million over.
Yeah, and Colin has been screaming that was part of the issue with them because Mahomes and Chris Jones and Travis Kelce were not restructuring. This is the part where the GM, as good as he is, this is where he failed because I'm sorry. You see him declining. I get that he's a veteran. I get that he's putting butts in the seats. I even get that you don't want to be on the bad side of your fan base. But at the end of the day,
you got to do something.
Something should have been done.
And you can't put that on Mahomes to be the only one that's been going back and restructuring his deal while y'all all been eating good.
Right. So at the end of the day, at the end of the day, this is definitely on this is definitely on the GM. See, perfect example. Even on a good team, mistakes are made.
But this doesn't make even with that. The Patriot. This is why when they started to fall apart, and I was saying with the time that they had left, it was going to be an issue with that because you were missing on too many opportunities that you had when you with the cheaper people that you had in there to continue to build with it. You lucked out last season, get getting to where you needed to in order to get to that Super Bowl. But then you got exposed. And once you got exposed, you had no money in order to go fix where you got exposed at. So now it got worse. And now you have to go into you're over the cap. You're not going to have your quarterback for most of the season next year. Your tight end might be gone. Your defensive end is over the hill where we saw last season there was some games where he took plays off. And it turns into a cluster. So I would not be surprised if you sit there and you don't see you really don't see KC. KC might be at the bottom of the West for a couple of years. And it's sad because you would never think that the no, you know what? It's not sad. You know what you're looking at right now with KC? The Patriots after 2018. The only difference is you're not trying to get you're not trying to get Mahomes out of there like you got Brady out of there. It's just the fact that Mahomes is hurt. But everything, you got to think about it. After that last championship in 2018, what was the main thing they kept on talking about yesterday? This is the first time in 7 years they've been in the playoffs, the first playoff win in 7 years. All because the Beatles, it was time to break up the Beatles.
Well, it was kind of forced
Oh,
because
yeah.
of because of the fact that what's his name had an opinion and Tom did not agree. And it actually
Mhm.
pissed him off that it was even being said. And it was like, okay, well, I get that. I respect that, but this is how I feel. And that's the one thing that you can say about that's the one thing that you can say about Belichick.
Yeah.
He kept it real with everybody. He it is while he did respect obviously he respected Tom, but there was no there was no difference. So, um but yeah, this just looking at the games real quick. Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead and let's slide over the picks because time is winding down. And
Oh,
and
so this picks this week sucked. But
yeah.
there's not that many of them. And we still got one of them outstanding on this one. So for
Yeah,
this week,
and I want to throw a nice little curveball into this situation.
oh God, what we got?
Um, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go ahead. It might burn me. If it burns me, it burns me. I'm switching my pick. I'm going with the Steelers.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my.
Uh, and if anything helped me make that decision, it was actually the fact that I split. The fact that I split on both my games that I should have freaking won. Packers. I should have won both my games.
Yeah, yeah.
I should have won I should have won both them games and I picked the Rams. So I would have been instead of being 2-1, I would have been 3-0. And then with the Patriots I would have been 4. I lost the Jags game because I
Everybody's 3-2 right now. Looks like. Yeah, everybody's 3-2 because we all took New England.
okay,
We all took the Rams.
okay,
You took Green Bay, but me and Drew took Chicago.
okay.
We all took Jacksonville.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all took Jacksonville, and then you took the 49ers and we took the Eagles.
Okay.
So hold on, I'll make sure I'm right here. Oh, 0-2, 1-2. Yeah, yeah, we all 3-2. So this will be you. We either be 4-2 or 3-3 going
Yeah.
into this next round.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I just, especially after we started talking about the Texans' offensive line, like, yeah, yes, the defense, but unless they get like some pick sixes or some fumbles that they take back to the house, uh, what your offense gonna do?
Right. So it's gonna be interesting. That
So
I
yeah,
just think that defense. I just think that that defense, when it comes down to it, that defense is gonna be what shines through with that.
and
And
and and the thing is to me, even if you bring up Philip Rivers, Philip Rivers didn't have enough time to be. We clearly see that if he had had like a whole, if he had the OTAs and all that and time to like get in shape, Philip Rivers would be a problem.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh
Okay,
yeah, that's part of the
so
reason. That's part of the reason why I keep on saying the Bengals' number one thing that I think, besides rebuild, continue to look for high value or medium value but good talent on defense. Resign Flacco. I will resign Flacco.
they probably won't.
I don't know because you got too many players clamoring. Oh, and they already started to run on them. Oh boy.
Oh yeah, that's another reason why I need to find my phone.
Yeah, they already then ran for a first down right off the bat.
Texans.
No, Pittsburgh got the ball first.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, they
Well,
already they already done gashed them. It's not a good sign starting out.
there you are, some bitch. Yeah, well. The Packers proved it's 4 quarters to a game. Yeah,
Two halves, 4 quarters, not just the first half. Jesus, that's stupid stuff. All right, so far, and oh my God, who was that? Was that Gainwell? Nope, DK. All right, let's go to the playoff bracket so we can knock these out. I'll message Drew and ask him for his picks to throw in here for it. So right now, come on, update. Why is it not updating? Playoff bracket. It keeps on going away every time I try to click on it. I could have swore that the Whistle card's already set. Playoff bracket. All right. Jesus Christ. This damn thing is jumping. Go to ESPN.
yeah. That's
Yeah, NFL, I'm on NFL.com because it comes up right automatically when I log in, but it's still not. Yeah, there we go. NFL playoff bracket. That's what I need. All right. So you got Seahawks versus 49ers.
mm, mm. Damn it. Mm, mm, hmm. Quarterback wise, this is a great game. Running back wise, not so much.
Nope.
But the question is even though they have the running backs, is Seattle going to use both of them?
If Seattle plays like they did the last game against San Francisco, I don't. They don't fix nothing. Don't fix anything that ain't broken. Run the ball, control the offense, let your defense do it. Let that crowd get you going with that. That is the highest point spread right now with Seattle a 7 point favorite against San Francisco. To me, the Rams pose a bigger threat to San. They pose a bigger threat to San Fran. I mean to Seattle than for the 49ers do. I like what the 49ers did. The 49ers was amped up because that's their rivalry with Philadelphia to do that. I can't see the 49ers going into Seattle and beating Seattle. I can see the Rams doing it because of the weapons. Every time you turn around, San Fran got somebody getting hurt.
Yeah, yeah, and that to me is the only reason. That's the reason why um I want to pick San Fran. I really do.
I do too, because I thought I was under the impression if San Fran would have beat Seattle, I would have picked San Fran to win it all. But Seattle, the way Seattle manhandled them in that game, it just left it. I got that lingering feeling in the back of my head, like you just played them 2 weeks ago and they beat you up, and you're already beaten up, and you're going back up there to get beat up some more. I can see it on one end of where they win, where Seattle wins, and it's the same way. I see it another way to where what's it called, just McCaffrey just has a field day and all of a sudden gets like eats a whole bunch of power pellets and something and just starts gobbling up Seahawks as he going down the field. But truth be told, even with that game against Philadelphia, if it wasn't for that trick play, they wasn't moving it like that. They was moving it, but they kept on stopping themselves and kicking a field goal.
Right.
So
And
that's yeah, I gotta go with Seattle on this one.
hmm, mm. Uh, damn it. This is a very big spot for Darnold. This is a very big spot for Darnold, and as much as I trust their defense, I don't know how much I trust Darnold. I hate to say it because he's a he's a good redemption story, and he is clearly showing him and quite a few of the other quarterbacks. Say what you want, they are showing um they are already showing that there's a difference in
Yeah,
redemption stories, um, as opposed to um, a lot of the other quarterbacks like the Genos and the Cams and other people like that that try to uh, the Tyrod Taylors, and why they end up being backups or out of the league compared to why they end up being starters, why they keep being starters. They could either be a backup also, but then there's certain ones that it's like, yeah, I was always a starter. I just needed somebody that needed only me to give me a actual shot. And this is what it looks like. So
yeah.
Daniel Jones, if he doesn't get hurt, where does Andy actually end up? Does is We know Jacksonville would have been there, but would Houston have been there? So a lot of questions. But anyway, you know what? It's a game of chance. It is what it is. Ain't no money on the line. Give me the 49ers.
Wow. Okay.
These teams that don't have that are the underdogs, and they hurt and they beat up, and their coaches are bringing out the best in whoever's there between college and here. It's making me. That's part of the reason why I'm making these choices. It's like because I'm seeing it's seeing what I've always known and what people should actually be looking at when they're talking about how to create their great team. It's showing the players have to buy in, whether they are getting paid or not getting paid yet, or whatever the circumstances. Say what you want about Philly. The 49ers should have lost to Philly.
Yes.
Talent wise, they should have lost to Philly. And why the knock on Jalen is kind of fair because even if you blame Patullo for making the play calls, the inability to make the plays work on the field, that is not on. Like I found it laughable that all day, all I kept hearing was, why were you being so predictable? Why were you being so predictable? Last I checked, wasn't Montana and Rice and Jonathan Taylor and Roger Craig, weren't they predictable?
Mm-hmm.
How'd that work out for them? Weren't the Patriots
Nice.
weren't the Patriots predictable? 20 years. I weren't the Spurs, weren't they predictable? How'd that work
Yeah.
out? Champions.
Yeah. Predict.
OKC, pretty
If
predictable.
it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Grammy award winning of a foul shooter and foul getter and foul shooter, and then everybody buying in on the team, everybody about team. You win championships.
Yeah.
Philly should have won yesterday, in spite of Sirianni, in spite of Padula.
But Sirianni them, boom, boom, boom. Another one bites the dust. All right, next one. Bears against the Rams.
I know the Rams defense is unpredictable.
Oh, wait a minute. That's Sunday's game, right?
Yes.
I gotta check it.
Yeah, the 18th is on Sunday. I got something special I'm doing
Ah,
that day. So yeah,
ah,
that's
ah,
definitely Sunday.
I'm going with the Bears.
Wait, what was that about?
I'm going with the Bears.
You going with the Bears?
Mm-hmm.
Is that it, just out of curiosity? Is it because of the weather?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Man,
Chicago. Here's the crazy part. Chicago, starting Wednesday. Cloudy with a bit of snow up to 1 inch, becoming windier and colder, deteriorating road conditions, planned for a slow and slippery evening commute. Thursday, flurries, otherwise mainly cloudy and chilly, 26 degrees. Friday, snow and flurries accumulating inch or two. Saturday, cloudy and colder with a couple of snow showers, 22. Sunday, mostly cloudy and frigid with a flurry early, then an hour or two of snow. Real feel 6 degrees, 55% chance of rain. I mean, of snow. High of 19.
damn it. Yeah, give me the Bears. Yeah, yeah. I just did a quick look up on Matthew Stafford and his ability to perform, and
Outdoor cold weather.
yeah.
If they win this game, the Rams.
Wait, in contrast, Stafford has 4-3 record in cold weather, showcasing his ability. Wait, hold on. His career stats in snow. Oh. Okay. So in just regular cold weather,
He's okay, but
he's
cold weather
4-3.
and
But in the snow, ooh, mm, damn it. All right, I'll stick with the Bears, but but I'm definitely going to do what I can.
snow, ability to revise.
Yes, yes. I definitely am going to need to know if there's going to be any snow. I might need to go back to the Rams on this one. If okay, I will put it to you this way, and I will say this: even if I stick with the Bears, if they rely on their run game, the Rams can win this game,
Yeah,
but they're always going with Stafford,
they always
and
everybody
and that's
plays
what
on their quarterback instead of what's making them what's making them run, what's making them do good during that time frame.
my friends are officially on tour. Cool. Um, yeah, yeah, okay. I'll stick with the Bears for now. I will be checking the weather, but let's as my one friend would say, on to the next.
All right. Uh First AFC matchup. Broncos versus Bills.
Broncos versus
Yeah.
Bills.
Yeah, I'm about to be up there as soon as I get finished with this.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. Broncos versus the Bills. You know what? Damn it, prove him wrong. I'm going with the Bills.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. They defense they defense is great, but the reason why the Texans became number one was because toward the end of the season they stopped being great.
Yeah.
Remember that Monday night game that we were just very confused because Mariota was looking like a starting quarterback all over them.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that one.
That was just like, wait, Mariota? Not from the team that's old and everybody else been destroying them. They get to y'all, and all of a sudden the line know how to block. Mariota is having a field day on y'all. What? They not even having a field day
On
on
anybody else for real.
right, including Dallas. What are we doing? What are we doing there, Denver? So yeah, um, and Josh proved that if you sleep on him, he will beat you. So, and I know that they're gonna have to do some adjusting. Brandon's gonna probably need to step up a little more to help open up Shakir, and Knox better step up, and Kincaid
Yeah.
better step up, and quite frankly, they better pull out that other running back. I'm okay if one ain't
Davis.
yeah, they better pull.
They had him out there.
They better pull him out there too. All hands on deck. Trying to get you better treat this like a like Akeem did. You better get your ring while you can. While we don't know what Patrick is gonna come back and be like, we do know that he's in the championship, knocking everybody off from getting one when he's there. So between this year and next year, everybody better do what they can to keep down the Chiefs and get your ring where you can get it.
Exactly.
So yeah. I am going with the Bills.
All right. And then the last one. Oh yeah, this is Josh Allen's best chance at winning the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Better get it while it's good. Come on, Akeem Olajuwon. You better get it while it's good. Cause because if Patrick come back and and he's all and he's back to being able to be mobile and being back to being the best mobile quarterback that wins Super Bowls.
But you can't. You're. I'm sorry. You're not going to bank on Patrick next year. You got 2 years.
That's
You
what I'm
can't.
saying.
Yeah.
You better you better get it while you get it. I came had 2 years and he took advantage of both of them and got two rings out of it. And that's what everybody in the league better do. And it was what I was saying the whole time. If they sitting up here, well, yeah, they offense don't look good. It's their defense. Their offense, yeah, but their offense is the one getting most of the touchdowns. So even though it don't look good, you still ain't stopping them. So if you still ain't stopping them, whether it's my Patriots or it's the Chiefs, shut up until you do. It just you just got to shut up until you do.
Right.
Like stop them or shut up. You can't do both because you running your mouth. That was the thing that made me lose respect for Tomlin and Rex Ryan. I don't mind you admitting that your team is better than the Patriots. Problem is when y'all go up against them, you can't beat them. So we're
It gets to where I don't. I have to sit there and say, in all fairness, when it comes to this, I don't. I'm going with Buffalo.
mm,
It's just that a part of me is looking at this like it's if Buffalo loses this one, good luck. Good luck in that city. That place is gonna be ugly because it's
I
not
mean,
going. It's going.
naturally because people going had their hopes up, and it's not unfortunately for well maybe for the owner. The owner's been through it, but you know, it nothing is guaranteed, unfortunately.
No, it's not.
And the shape of that team, they shouldn't have made it past the Jaguars, just like the 49ers. And the ironic part of this is, what if it ends up being a 49ers Bills Super Bowl? Two teams that shouldn't have made it past the first round, and they end up in the Super Bowl. That was tasty for me. That was a little tasty for me. And technically they both need it.
Oh,
They both
but
need the
Buffalo
win.
desperately needs it. They need it for everything. Pretty much their whole Buffalo needs it to have to finally round out that story. They damn sure need this. And that's why I'm like, you don't get chances. The same way I feel like the Bengals need one
Yeah.
just because Buffalo is almost worse because Buffalo been at least the Bengals been there 3 times. Buffalo been there 4. So they definitely and what they it could have been 5, but the Bengals stopped them on one of the runs to get there for it. So
Yep.
I definitely gotta sit there and say like it's a definite for them for that. So I'll take that one on and say Buffalo with that one. And then Pittsburgh up 3-0. And the last one is the winner of this Pittsburgh Texans game against the Patriots.
Mm. Mm. Jeez.
This one is easy for me.
Mm.
If Pittsburgh wins this game, they out next week.
Oh no.
I don't trust I trust Pittsburgh at home more than I trust Pittsburgh on the road.
I get that, but if they make it over the hurdle past past the defense of the Texans, I don't know if I'm automatically putting the Patriots because they like Caleb. They playing with house money. They're anything that they do in these playoffs, even if they make it to a Super Bowl, win or lose, they playing with house money right now because you got a first. You got what? May this is his first or second year.
Second year.
Okay, you got a second year quarterback and you got a first year coach with the Patriots, and he's slowly bringing back the regime. This is his first year coaching with May under all the players that he has. He's playing with house money because I'm sure that he's gonna make sure do what he can to make sure that come draft time, oh, they gonna shore up that defense, and they gonna have some edge rushers. They
True.
they they gonna shore up that line. He's gonna make sure that the defense is straight, and hopefully him and Josh can be trusted to continue to bolster. And they got some questions anyway because we don't know what's gonna happen with Barmore. That's what I meant to talk about. We'll talk about it next week. I meant to talk about uh Barmore, Diggs, and Antonio Brown. So,
Oh, the mental stuff.
didn't he just get arrested, or was that an old thing I saw?
Who? Brown?
Yeah,
Brown's on attempted murder charges for that fight, and when he pulled out the gun and shot the guy, either shot at or shot the guy down there in Miami after the influencer fight.
yeah, yeah. That's what yeah,
So
um,
yeah, I know that one.
yeah.
That's
So
that's why
so
I was
we'll
like,
we'll, we'll talk about that a little bit next week. Um, but the Patriots might be in trouble because of that. And I swear for all that is unholy, if either one of them get found guilty, the Patriot way better still stand. It better still stand, or they're in trouble.
yeah, it's
Hey, it is what it is. Is it something that I want for Diggs? No, because he actually redeemed. He redeemed himself. Although the whole thing with the crystals and the girls on the yacht, and you got a whole girlfriend that last I checked, she crazy.
he
Oh,
don't care about that because he just as crazy.
right. And you know, and then you got Barmore with the whole family or family member or somebody with the domestic battery or domestic violence, whatever it was.
Mhm.
Um, and then it's like, dude, y'all don't need that going into the playoffs. What the hell are y'all doing?
It's it's
Which,
it's typical.
which technically Barmore's happened back in August. Diggs was actually his incident was more recent than Barmore's because Barmore's happened actually before the season started. So, but I guess they were just being slow about working on it and getting it to where it needed to be talked about publicly. So hopefully they both come out uh not guilty, hopefully. And hopefully that actually is the case. But if something come up and they're guilty, then as much as I hate to say it, Vrabel gotta you can call it the Bill Belichick way. You can call it Patriot way. Call it whatever you want, as long as they're out.
Pretty much.
Because you got to send that message like, yeah, this ain't it. It's like it doesn't matter who you are, how good you are. This ain't it. It will not be here on the team. This is where you will end up if you take it that way. Um, you're free to do what you want, you're just not gonna do it here. And I like that philosophy because that's the philosophy that, especially in the past few years, that's how I've garnered, whether it be friendships, whether it be relationships. It's like you could be who you want to be, but if who you want to be makes me miserable, I want you to be happy, even if it's not with me.
Wait,
Toodles.
around away from me on that one.
Yeah, toodles. Uh,
All right, so I took the winner of this game against New England. I'm not trusting it. Um, I think New England still is a year away. This is the growing pains one for it. To me, I um lean closer to Houston winning it in a blowout. Pittsburgh might pull it off close, but it all depends
I,
on what I'm seeing with this defense. It all depends on what I see with this Houston defense tonight because it's a different type of pressure when you going to, and you when you in the playoffs versus in the regular
Daggone
season.
it. I gotta turn the game on. My bad. You gotta look at that offensive line too, because
Oh yeah,
the one thing that we have seen, I might be split. I might pick the Steelers if they end up against the Patriots, and if the Texans go, I might end up picking I may end up picking the Pats because that line, if that line can't protect Stroud, pressure bust pipes, and they've shown that if your line ain't up to par, they will come after you and get to you. I just trust as crazy as it sounds, I trust Rodgers more than I trust Stroud under
wow,
pressure. Well, I mean, he showed it. He
true.
definitely showed it.
It is still him. Yeah,
And then they have DK as long as he now knows, like, even if you see that dude show up, don't go nowhere near him. If anything, get security and say, hey, he's over there. Can you take care of that for me? Do something. And oh, oh, oh,
but
you didn't see that?
no, I had turned it off of it because I was trying to.
Oh, my bad. Well, if this stands, the Steelers just got an interception.
Oh God.
Because TJ Watt hit Stroud's arm while he was trying to throw it, and the lineman caught it as it was going to the ground. I'm trying to
They
tell
flipped
you.
it on there.
I'm trying. Yeah, I kept thinking about it. Like y'all, I allowed y'all to talk me into the Texans, but the more I kept thinking about their line, I'm like, what is their line like? If they line is what they line is, which say what you want. If your line ain't that great, TJ gonna eat,
Yeah.
and you are gonna have to worry about Cam Hayward. You are gonna have to worry about him. And then in terms of the run, even if they try to run, they got Harmon in the middle. He's been pretty good since he got back at slowing down at least slowing down the run when they try to run up the middle anyway, which Henry didn't. So and when they did, yeah, you ain't bringing nothing up the middle. You can go to the sides, make me chase you a little bit, but you're not bringing nothing up the middle there, bro. So yeah, so this might get a little interesting.
It's gonna be
So
spicy.
all right, but
All right.
it's been fun. Let's see here. We definitely did better.
Yeah, we did
Um,
better.
um, so so much going on in sports, man. It is crazy. It is insane.
But this
I
is
wish
starting
I
to get
had
to the
more
calm
time.
down. Right.
Uh,
But this starting to get to the calm down because realistically, next Monday, we'll be on for our 2 hours and then we'll be hurrying off to get ready to go watch the championship. And then
right?
and the playoff games will be over with. There's no Monday night football
Nah.
except for the college. And then after that, we only got 3 more weeks of football.
Well, now, because then you have the end of March, and I don't know about you, but I'm gonna try to watch. Have you been checking out Unrivaled?
I have not watched it so far this season yet, but I liked it when I saw it last season.
I'm gonna try to make sure that I watch it. Depending on what I got going on, I might have to do some family stuff that I told you about. I don't want to do it, but you gotta let your kids do what they feel is best.
But
So
the thing about Unrivaled is that people better get used to it because if they don't come up with some type of collective bargaining agreement, that's the only WNBA you get this year.
Yeah, and it's definitely looking like there's a power struggle, which unfortunately for the powers that be, it's not making them look very good.
It's not.
And um I do hope that they figure it out because the ladies do deserve to get paid. They actually deserve to get paid before Caitlyn showed up. But I also get the fact that because of how they play, they didn't have enough going on. But did you try though?
Right.
That's the other thing.
But
Did you
the only
try to market?
but the only thing I'll say before we get out of here on that is that where they can sit there and say, did you do enough for it? The players are the ones that's marketing Unrivaled right now. And you see how enthusiastic you was just by saying that. There's more enthusiasm about watching Unrivaled than the WNBA.
Well, I just happened to see it like because I have the TNT app.
Yeah.
So and it lets me know when certain shows are on. It lets me know when wrestling's on, and then all of a sudden it popped up. It's like, hey, Unrivaled, and I can't remember what I was doing, but I didn't get a chance to watch it.
But
So
this is they made that league because part of the reason why Griner got stuck over in Russia for so long was that's what they had to do in order to supplement their incomes because they're not getting paid the same amounts as they are for even like of close to the minimums that the NBA players are. And it's the same owners. So it's like how we have to go. Oh, we making almost. I think they said one of them was maybe like about 75 or $100,000 for their thing. So in order to make a living, they're having to do that, then going overseas to play, then coming back before the WNBA season. They play almost year round just to make a fraction of what the NBA players making on their minimum contract. It doesn't work. That's why. That's
but
why.
but they paying them based upon what they're able to bring in.
Right.
But this will be a good topic for us to talk about next
Oh
week.
shit, they already punted. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
All right. Great talk. Great show. Hopefully Andrew will be here next week. Until then, it's United World Sports. I'm Dante Suave. This is Mr. J. And we're out.
Have a good one, y'all.